Sometimes I feel kind of bad, like, because like I'll usually be done with my work at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I'm like, oh my God, should I be like, cleaning up my car? Or should I be like doing more laundry or doing this or that? Like, should I be filling my time rather than just like being okay, relaxing? Has been kind of so.
And when you said you're feeling bad when you're not utilizing your time in a different way, do you feel bad in the sense that you're being unproductive or you're falling behind? Or what do you mean when you feel bad?
Um, I guess not falling behind because I feel like I feel like I've gotten everything done, but I just kind of feel like I don't know, maybe I feel like as a member of society, like maybe I'm supposed to be like since I do have more free time now, I don't have any kids or anything, so it's like maybe I should like be helping more with my family, or maybe I should like find volunteer. So I don't know, maybe it's just my brain balls, but I feel um like I should be doing more for my society, or I should be doing more for my community, or I need to feel more comfortable just letting myself relax. I think is a big thing.
It sounds like you're feeling a conflict between feeling responsible or responsibility, um, and then negligent on that responsibility. And if you weren't able to follow through with that responsibility to society or to being productive, do you think that would mean that you're like a bad person, or that you're not worthy to be in society, or you shouldn't be allowed to be? What does that mean to you if you're someone that actively says, I'm not going to spend my time doing these other things. I'm going to relax and intentionally spend this time doing that? What would that sound like to you?
No, that's a really good point. That's a good point to like look at it that way because like I don't I don't feel like necessarily that like that makes me a bad person. And it's one of those things that like if one of my friends come up to me and they're like, hey, this is so great, I'm not working, I don't have to work myself to death anymore. I can now like do things I love again and like I've been cooking more. I haven't been able to cook so much the past few years. And I know that like if they came up to me and said like, oh, I've been taking a lot of my free time to myself, I just totally applaud them. I'd be like, yeah, that's so good. Like, don't do any more shit. Like, you just be happy and enjoy your life and don't fill it with things. So I think I think a lot of it comes down to like my dad worked nonstop. Um, so he worked full time, and then like he also would. I grew up on an acreage, so then he would be like getting up early to work in the acreage, and then he owned a computer software company, so he'd do that all day, and then come home and like make dinner, and uh, and then also like do things for the acreage like that. And if he was sitting down, he was asleep. And so I think like that was just kind of like the model for us was just like I know if I was sitting around reading, even like as a younger child, he would come in and be like, shouldn't you be doing something? Like, shouldn't you be doing something else? So I think it's kind of like finding those past inner voices that aren't necessarily mine, but like got put into me.
Hmm. So your dad seems like he was always busy, always working, and you said set the template for kind of your lifestyle and your expectations. And do you like that template? Do you feel that it's a problem fitting in that? No. Yeah.
I think it's definitely a problem. And it's so crazy talking about this out loud because like um he in his 30s because this was his insane life and still does he retired for like 6 months and then immediately found a job because he hated retirement. But in his 30s he developed a heart condition because he was go 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 go. And now in my 30s I've developed the same heart condition. So like it's like I'm following these patterns and I'm and even though like I see them on him and I'm like, bitch, you gotta relax. And then like I just need to like tell myself like, no, you consciously need to relax. You like it's okay, you're fine, you're fine. So just like I feel so safe in my home and just like reminding myself that like, no, this is a safe space and you're allowed to chill. So yeah.
You're seeing more parallels between your life and the template that your father set.
Hmm.
And it seems like this kind of incongruency between your lifestyle and expectations and the template that your father set. It seems like where a lot of this kind of discomfort and bad feelings about how to spend your time, it seems like that's where it's coming from a little bit. Does that sound right to you?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
And then is that what you'd want to focus on for the rest of the session today, or was there something else in particular that you were interested in kind of drilling into a little bit?
No, I think that's probably like my biggest thing right now is
Okay.
like, yeah.
Okay. And so you were talking about feeling bad or unproductive when you're spending time in a way that's not fitting with your father's template that he set up for you. Is there any other time that you have a similar feeling?
What do you mean?
When you're feeling bad, you expressed, I'm feeling bad when I'm not spending time being productive. Is there another time when you have a similar feeling of feeling bad that you're
Uh,
not being productive, like you're neglecting your responsibilities?
for sure. I think this is this is so funny. I've never like put this together, but I think I also do that if I sleep in the morning, like ever. If I like ever sleep in a little bit, even on like my days off when I'm absolutely nothing. Um, I think I do kind of feel like, ooh, like I gotta get up, I gotta do something. I am a morning person though, so like I naturally really like waking up in the morning, but it is probably because like from those years of like living on an acreage, like and I've had a dog almost my entire life that I've had to be like responsible for. So I think that's a big like, you can't just sleep in till 11. Like you need to get up and take care of your dog and take care of the animals. And so, but I do try to like, I mean, like I said, like I'm a morning person. I love watching the sunrise, but like it's okay to go back to bed and not feel bad about it.
Do you feel like you're able to do that now, or do you feel like that's hard for you to do even now?
I feel like I'm doing better, but I think I have some of that guilt I still need to like work through.
Mhm. And when you're feeling guilty about not getting up out of bed or not fulfilling this template, does that guilt lead back to the idea that like you're maybe not doing enough or you're not good enough or you're not contributing enough to society?
I think so, yeah. I think it that all like it's all like different streams leading into the same river a
Mhm.
little bit. Yeah.
And do you feel that way that you are not enough, that you're not contributing to society? Is that true for you, do you think?
Um, so that is something that like um I had a therapist I worked with for 4 months at the beginning of this year. And he was awesome. And like on our first and second session, he like I had to go through like this checklist of like I am statements. And one of the ones he brought up was one of the statements on there was I think I'm not enough or I think I'm a burden. And I actually crossed it out because I was like, no, I know I'm not enough and I know I'm a burden. And we really worked on that. And like, even though I feel like I'm in a better place than I was in January 2023, we really worked on that. But it's kind of those things where you're like, I am doing better and like I am feeling better, I am in a better place, but it's like I feel like they're always kind of They're like little coals that are like still there under the surface. So I think all of that kind of leads back to that one. Yeah, feeling that way.
And uh, feeling like a burden, you said you don't even feel that way. You know you're a burden is what you said. How do you know that?
Well, I mean, it's not something I can quantify, which means it's not real. Um, it's something I've definitely placed on myself. But it's kind of like I look at things that happen in my life, and uh, sometimes it feels like there's so many crazy things that happen, like one after another, after another, after another. Um, Even to a point when like I was meeting with my therapist, uh, there was one point where like I went in and I was like, he's like, oh, you missed last week. Is everything okay? And I was like, no, I was in the emergency room because I almost died. So I'm
Yeah.
like, this is the bullshit I mean. Like, right? I was like, it's just like one thing after another. And so it's like when I do have those moments of tranquility, it's like maybe I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop because I'm like, what other fucking crazy things will happen? Like, so I hope
Yeah.
I'm cursed. I know I've cursed a few times. I hope that's okay.
Yeah. No, that's okay.
Okay.
Um, so that sounds really kind of like a out of your control, and it would
Yeah.
sounds really, kind of overwhelming to have all these external things happening um, that that are really life stopping um,
Mhm.
for you. And do you see that those external things happening to you? Do you think that those are a burden to yourself or to other people? I can see how it would be a burden to yourself. Do you see it being a burden to other people?
Yeah, I definitely do. I think like if it was just me in a vacuum and I didn't need help or anything, I'd be like, oh, fuck it. Almost died. It's fine. And I'm happy to move on, but it's like I hate ever having to like rely on other people or like I just want to give. I just want to be the one who's like being able to give and help and help and help. And so like when I am the one where I'm like, oh, like do need help. And I've got incredible family and circle of friends here, and I'm so grateful. But it's like it just has been so much, and it's like, oh, I don't want to like take up other people's time or like, like because I'm like, I know that they've got shit too, and like they've just been so helpful for me. So if that makes sense.
When you were saying you really like to give, what does that feel like when you're giving?
It's my favorite. It's all I want to do. Even when like I'm really big into like manifestations and like having good mantras. I meditate every single morning before I start my day. And even in those manifestations, like anything that like I want to bring in, it's because I want to be able to like give to others. It's like God, like I want to be able to like have enough money so then like when my friends need anything, I can be like, oh my God, here, like please take, please give, please do. And like whenever I cook, I'm always taking it to someone else or I'll ask friends like, they're gonna make cookies today, what should I make? And so it's like so I can take it to them. Like that brings me the most joy.
I mean, those all sound like expressions of love, really, just variations of love, whether that's the time or cooking or energy. And when you're able to express that and share that with people, what does that mean for you? When you're taking from people, you said, I'm a burden. I shouldn't be taking from people. When you're giving to people, what do you think that means? uh, for you as the type of person that you are.
I think it brings me like a lot of sense of purpose and always sense of like um I know my mom is a big sorry, my dog is crying out. And a big proponent of like, if you were feeling depressed or something, then you should go do service for someone else because then you'll feel better. That is true. You definitely do feel better, but sometimes you're just clinically fucking depressed, or sometimes you just have a chemical imbalance,
Yeah.
and not enough service projects are going to take care of that. So I think there's a little bit of that too.
When you're giving, and you said giving, and you're giving love to people, and people are receiving that love, do you see them in the same light that you see kind of yourself when you were explaining when you're taking, when you're sleeping in, when you're doing expressions of love for yourself, you see that as kind of a negating on your responsibilities, and that like you're a burden, and you said that's how you're feeling when you're on the other side and you are giving love. Do you feel that same way about the person that is receiving the love that you are giving?
Never. I never feel like they're a burden. And again, like that's so where the mind split is, where it's like, my friends they could never ask too much. They can never, like my 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 friend who actually the one who took me to the emergency room because I wasn't breathing in January. Her wife called 2 weeks ago and was like, "We're headed to the emergency room because she was found unconscious." And I was like, "Yeah, Lenny, like I got pants on. I'm gonna meet you there. It's gonna be great. Everything's gonna be fine." Uh, and it was great. Like I would never think like, damn it, Savannah, why why were you unconscious this during my day? Like, no, I was so happy to help. And I know that they're so happy to help me, but it's like I'm worried that if I ask too much, that uh yeah, I didn't think this would ever get me, but it did a little bit. That if I ask too much, then like I won't like that they'll eventually like uh not love me anymore. Which isn't true. So sorry.
I mean, that's not true. Where do you think that rule comes from, or what experience do you think made you have that idea?
Well, I was raised in a very religious home
Yeah.
and called Mormons, and that is absolutely their fucking shtick is um that I mean, I remember so many times my parents being like, God's love is unconditional. Like it's very conditional. And you have to do things.
Hmm.
And like, and if and it's in the Mormon doctrine, it's not enough to be good enough is not enough. You have to be perfect.
Hmm.
And so I think like I hold myself up to that standard, even though I'm not Mormon anymore and haven't been for a long time. Um, I think I still hold that within my bones, even though like I don't hold anyone else to that. I don't care. No one else is perfect. Like no one else, like I this year had a friend throw up on me and I was like, it's okay, babe. Like, that's fine. Like I was like, I'm gonna go shower and put on your clothes, but like like it's I would never hold anyone else up to that standard, but I always hold myself up to that, even though I shouldn't.
Hmm. It's it's like it sounds like you are able to offer everyone else unconditional love except for yourself.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
yeah, and do you think that's reasonable?
No, no, it's not reasonable. It's not good. Try not to do that.
Yeah, well, I mean, you just explained the conditioning and the childhood and the environment and the incredible obstacles in front of you that kind of helped to create the the lens that you're viewing reality with now. And when you're explaining how you're able to take the value of unconditional love and apply it to other people, and that same skill can still be applied to yourself because you have that skill. You've been able to develop that ability. And the the anchor of you deserving love, I think, sounds like that keeps coming up as the roadblock. What do you think about that?
I think that is absolutely on point. I think I need to even, as you were talking, I was thinking about how I was in that religion uh, for varying degrees of faithfulness for like 24 years, my first 24 years of my life. And so it's like, even though I'm out of it and have been for more than 10 years now, I need to like sort of remember, like, yeah, but yeah, you've deprogrammed, but you're still gonna have that within you. So I think like even being gentle with myself of seeing those and seeing those roadblocks and moving through them, working through therapy,
Yeah,
to help help get rid of that.
I think it will. Well, Rachel, unfortunately, I have to stop recording now, but thank you so much for telling me all about your background and sharing so much of your history with me.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome.